Hello, everybody, and welcome to Poll Review with me, Bill, the company's expert. And this is the live stream where we talk about the polls that I put out every day, and we see what you guys have said, and we discuss the results. So let's get started. I'm doing these on Monday, starting this week, and that's probably going to continue for a while because I've had to move a few things around. Because my main line, which is consulting, I have some meetings during the time when I usually do these. So I'm moving them to Monday. So we'll do this once a week on Mondays for at least the next several weeks, hopefully. And I hope you can join me. Okay, so let's see if I can get this. I didn't even do a sound check. I just had to start. I was very rushed. Okay, here we go. Okay, so a week ago, I think this is where I left off last time. But it's pretty hard to get a more general question than this. Are you in control of your destiny? This is a poll I put out. 6,400 people responded, and the people who voted yes have it with 54% over the people that voted no at 46%. Now, okay, look, obviously this is a philosophical question. You could get into all kinds of, you could fall into the philosophical deep end, put it that way. But why do I do these polls? I do these polls either to make people think about some of these questions or to make them aware of some of these questions. So the purpose here was in regards to this YouTube channel where we usually talk about careers and in particular how to get jobs. Okay, this is a relevant question. Do you have control? Now, I know a lot of people where they do the default thing, and the default thing is to stay where you are until you're pushed out, okay? Because it's always easier to take the path of least resistance. Why quit your job? Why jump to another job or to another career if there's no immediate need, right? And that's what a lot of people do. And maybe where you are is precisely where you want to be, which is absolutely fantastic. Or maybe it's not where you want to be, and it's not ideal, and it's not all you'd hope for. So maybe there might be room for starting to think about how you could move closer to where you want to be. That's all I'm saying. We had some interesting comments on this one, ranging from the philosophical to the insulting, like usual. It's the internet. So there you go. Okay, here's the next one. 6 days ago, my problem is, and these are potential problems that people on this channel have complained about. I send out many applications, but get few interviews. I hate my job and want to quit, but forces prevent me. I want to move up, but I don't know how to network. And I can't seem to pass interviews with recruiters. So obviously the people who voted for the first one won with 43%, said I send out many applications, but get few interviews. Yes, this is usually the common issue with people, especially young people, people in their 20s. That are starting out, a lot of people doing the default way of getting a job, which is to scour the internet looking for posted jobs and then respond to the job postings with a job application. And then usually they go in with well over 100 others, and they find that it's something like a 99% rejection ratio at least that you're up against with this kind of thing. So that is a very common problem. For a lot of people, the solution is to not use that method of getting a job. But if you want to brute force it and do it, there's some ways to clean up what you do. And that's kind of some of the things I talk about on this channel. We got a lot of comments on this one, people talking about their issues. Some of them coincided with this. Some of them were different things. So it's quite interesting. Okay, here we go. 5 days ago, I hate this question the most. 5,900 people responded. The winner was, why should I hire you? So 51% of people who responded said, I hate this question the most. Why should I hire you? This is interesting to me because this is one of the best questions you could possibly be asked in a job interview. This should not be something you hate. This should be something that, you're into, because this is the perfect question to be asked. This gives you an open floor to sell yourself, to tell them what you have, what experience you have, what you've done, what accomplishments you've done or what skills you developed, what you know, right? What education you have, or training you have. This is the perfect way to give them compelling reasons to hire you. It's an open-ended question. You could say whatever you want in your favor. It certainly beats them interrogating you with very specific questions where you have to answer those questions and you never really get a chance to say what you want to say that you think will be compelling to make you look really good. Okay, so this surprised me. This is actually a very good question to be asked. This should not be something that people shy away from. A lot of people think it means, why should I hire you? Meaning like, why are you here? Why should I hire you? And a lot of people say, oh, it's because I want a job. Hello. But that's not what it means. They're saying, why should I hire you? I could choose from 20 people or from 10 people that I just interviewed. I could hire any one of them. Why should I hire you? Why would I pick you? And this is what the question is about. So you answer by saying, well, I have this. I can do this. This is what's great about me. Usually, if you match that to what they've said they're looking for in the job posting under the requirements, that's usually the way to answer this. So hopefully this will not be a big issue for people. This is a great question to ask. I hate this question the most. The other options were, what does success look like to you? Okay. Why did you leave your last job? If you didn't leave on 100% favorable terms, I can understand people being concerned about this, but it's really not a big deal if you know what to say. And I've done a video on that, how to answer that. Tell me something about yourself not on your resume. Yeah, I hate this question too. That would be the one I would pick. Your resume, by definition, contains all relevant details of your work history, okay? And any pertinent details of who you are and what you have, okay? Everything necessary for them to evaluate you on paper. So somebody asking you to tell them something that's so unimportant you left it off your resume is kind of a bit of a trick question. The way I would answer that is to say, certainly, what would you like to know? Because it's an idiotic question. I'll just put it that way. It really is. Okay, so we got a lot of comments on this one. Thanks to everybody who was leaving a comment. Some interesting things, some very insightful things, some less insightful things. But thank you to everyone who participated. Okay, 4 days ago, this poll went out. This is hell to me. And these are 4 things that people commonly complain about. Public speaking, job interviews. I'm surprised job interviews wasn't number 1. Usually on this channel, we talk about how to get a job, how to pass a job interview. I'm surprised that people don't find that as their biggest challenge, their most unpleasant thing. Discovering and applying for jobs and conducting informational interviews. So discovering and applying for jobs was the winner. And I just did this morning, but I'll do it again, okay? Because it's so quick and easy to do. Very quickly, okay? Let's do a quick search, okay? You want to discover some jobs around you. You want to discover potential people that could employ you. Here's a thing to do. What do you do? Okay? What industry are you in? What type of job are you looking for? Let's say you work in retail. I don't know. No, something harder. Retail is everywhere. Something harder. Some very specific industry. I don't know. HVAC. Okay? HVAC. Okay? This is what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, where's maps? How do I get to maps here? I guess I have to type in the name of my city. Okay? And I'm not doing this in a incognito window. I should do that. That would be better. Okay, let's try it here. So Winnipeg. Well, if you interpret that as Winnipeg. And then you go to map. So look at your hometown in a map. Okay. And then if, let's say you worked in the HVAC industry, HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Okay. There we go. We just type in HVAC. Now what pops up on the map? These are companies that are in the HVAC industry. Now that I've zoomed in, I can say search this area again, and hopefully we'll get more. Maybe if we zoom in and say search this area, we get even more. There you go. Look at that. If you drill down, there's a lot of these companies. Now, each one of these, okay, like if I select it, okay, with my slow computer here, if I select it, I get the details. I get their phone number, their website, their address, okay, their name, and their location. So if you live in a sort of huge city, you know, and maybe it's not practical for you to go to work in a business that's on the other side of the city because that requires you to drive 100 kilometers or 100 miles, like impractically far. You can't commute that far. This allows you to find who are the potential employers near you. Okay, so let's say I lived way out here, which I don't, and I say search this area. Okay, there's still a few businesses here. Okay, Tropic Mechanical, Stan Air Ducts, like, you know, wherever you go, you could apply to all these companies. You could contact all these companies. You could look them up on LinkedIn. That's a great way to discover jobs. Okay, there's a lot more to this, but this will have to do for now. Okay, so discovering, applying for jobs. That's what I would say for those people. 17 people commented. A lot of people had issues with public speaking. That was kind of the runner-up. Yeah, public speaking is a tremendous skill. I would recommend anyone to develop it if you have any kind of ambition to, I don't know, be a manager or a supervisor or anything like that one day. Those jobs all require public speaking, even if it's just to get up in front of your team or your group or your gang or your employees and make announcements or assign work or answer questions, you know, or have a safety meeting or whatever you do. Public speaking is very important, and being comfortable with it and being, you know, halfway decent at it is a real skill. If you want to move up, that's definitely something. And for all those people who are looking to do this, if you're really in need of help here, okay, because you're just starting from zero, you have major social anxiety, you have no idea how to actually do public speaking, or think on your feet or be able to speak extemporaneously, which means off the top of your head, I would recommend an organization called Toastmasters International. I have absolutely no affiliation with these people, but they do good work when it comes to helping people with public speaking. God, why is this not conforming to my will? So TOA, my God. Hello, autopopulate. TOAST Masters International. There. Oh, man. What is up with this today? Won't allow you to type a word before it corrects you. You got to love that. Welcome to AI, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so check out this organization. If you've never heard of this, this can be the ticket to help you with social anxiety or just learning how to do public speaking in a variety of situations. If you just want to speak at somebody's wedding, or you want to speak for your job, or do a presentation, or just conquer your nerves, these people can help. It's extremely cheap. It costs like a couple of dollars a week, if that. And, you know, it's a great sort of resource. So check them out. I make no representations for them. I have no affiliation with them. I just think they're a good resource. Oh, I'm still under the weather. I'm under the weather more than ever, and my medication is not really working too well. Usually I take medication just to get rid of your head cold symptoms, but today it's not working. Okay, next poll. This came out 3 days ago. Can you generate cash by yourself with just an internet connection device, an internet connected device, and a phone? What I'm referring to, of course, is having your own business operation of some kind. Okay? This means not going through an employer. Okay? The employer is an intermediary that helps turn your value into wealth, into cash. Okay. It's a great skill to be able to know how to do that directly. That means you can be in business for yourself. That means you don't have to be reliant upon an employer to make a living, okay, or make a fortune sometimes. So this is what I do. I highly recommend it. It's never been easier to do this stuff than these days with the internet and all the resources that the internet has. If you want to reach a lot of people, like I'm doing now with YouTube, but there's many other ways to reach a lot of people. So if you want to get your message out, say you're selling something, you're providing a service or selling a product, there's never been a better time for anyone to come in and with just a computer and a phone and an internet connection, not even a phone, really. I mean, I never use a phone for like this YouTube stuff, but you can just make money. You can make your entire living and you don't need a job. So if that's something that, you're interested in doing, I highly encourage you to do it. Learn how it's done, do it properly. And, it won't happen overnight, but if it's something you want to do, work towards it and it can be a reality. So can you do this? 35% of you said yes. 14% of you said no, and I'm not interested. No, and I don't care to. But 51% of you guys, the winners, said, no, I can't do this, but I definitely want to learn how someday. Well, if you are interested, two things. I do a live stream every week called Side Hustle Ideas where I talk about this. It's a bit like this. It's a bit sort of off the top of my head, and I do take questions. But that's really more in line with my core competency, which is starting businesses, growing businesses. That's what I consult on, how to grow businesses, usually mid-sized businesses in my consulting thing, but I've done all kinds. So that's what I know most about. That's what I'd love to talk about, but more people are interested in how to get jobs, and that's cool. So I end up talking about that. But this is a really, really cool skill to learn. It's the best thing, the most valuable thing I've ever learned in terms of like stuff you learn that pays off. So I highly encourage others to discover this too, to wake up to this as an option. It may not be an option for everyone. It may not be a goal for everyone, and that's perfectly fine. But for a lot of people, if you're independently minded, if you don't really work well, under a boss and being dictated to what to do, and you really don't work well in that environment, it may be something for you to do. I do offer a course called the $100 MBA, teaches you all about business. Link in the description below this video if you're interested. It has been a solution for a lot of people. Very cheap, very easy. You can just dip your toe in the water, but you're getting the best quality information. You're getting information from the books that they use in places like Harvard and their business programs. You're getting the absolute cream of, information and not some pseudoscience stuff that people pass off. That's really their own opinions that they're passing off as business education, which we see all over the internet these days. Anyway, over 4,000 people responded to this. We got a lot of people. Now, some people made some comments here. Stock market traders, day trading. I mean, whatever. If that works for you, I don't recommend those things. Business is about providing value to somebody. So either you produce something like a product that they want or they need, in which case it's a fair exchange. They give you money, you give them something that they're happy to get, that either is useful for them or it's valuable to them in other ways. Or you provide a service. You can do something for them that they have a need for or they want, and it's a fair exchange. You give them something of value that they could use. Maybe you help them do their taxes or, something useful for them. And in return, they give you money. It's a fair exchange. This is the thing. It's all above board. There's no, how can I put it? It's based on delivering value to people. That's the success to business. It's not any kind of con or scam. Those usually don't work. I suppose you might make short-term gains, but ultimately long-term, you fail. It's like robbing a bank. It's not the path to success. Most of the time, you don't get away with it, and even if you do, you have to live your life on the run. It's just not really the way to go. So I'm not suggesting people do anything shady or underhanded. I'm suggesting people do something that's above board, that's open, that's honest. You provide value to people, and And they're happy to pay you because they feel they're getting their money's worth. That's what it's all about. Somebody said every office employee can. No, they can't. They can't turn their value into money by themselves. They need the employer to do that. You get paid by the employer. You don't create customers or generate customers that then pay you. The customers pay your employer, and your employer, through the goodness of their hearts, gives you a little piece of that. That's usually how that works. Okay? Investing in stocks, well, yeah, we won't touch that. We won't touch that one today. Okay. So a lot of people participate in that. Okay, we got 2 more to go. So 2 days ago, this was a joke one. This was the one that comes out on Saturday, so it's a bit of a joke. The superhero I'd most want to see a movie about is, here are your options. Job Interview Man, The Amazing Structured Whiteboard Process Compadre. That just rolls off the tongue. Agency Recruiter Boy, The Evil Talent Management Woman. That got the most votes, 45%. And suggest your own in the comments. We got some interesting suggestions here. The one I liked most was Disgruntled Postal Worker. Not the most original one, but it's still always a crowd pleaser. And Quiet Quit Man. I think that was good. So thank you to everybody who sent in your suggestions. Yes, it's a joke. It's a joke, right? Got to have a little bit of fun. And finally, last one we're going to cover today. This came out yesterday. The hardest skill to learn is, here's your options, selling myself in an interview. I thought that would be the first that people would vote for, but apparently not. Holding a flowing conversation with a hiring manager. Okay, I thought that would be higher, but public speaking and networking. Now, all of these I can see are real challenges for a lot of people. Depending who you are, you may be intimidated by one or have the need for one more than the others. But the winner was, in fact, networking, which was totally surprising to me because whenever I talk about networking, either in my videos or in my live streams, I get a backlash. I get people saying, number one, it's all a scam, it's all, corruption, Then I get people saying it can't be done, it's all an illusion, it doesn't exist, it's not a thing. Even when I point out that, look, do your own research, you will find that most people who get jobs have got them through some form of networking. This is very, very real. Then I get people saying, well, that's only for people who happen to know a lot of people. Incorrect. I'm an introvert. I'm actually a pretty big introvert. I built my consulting business through networking. Networking is a way I've obtained jobs before for myself in a past life. It's what I recommend for people. I've taught this in school. I've helped students. Students who are, 20 to 25 years old, in that range. They've done networking. They've sat down with CEOs. They've made connections with CEOs. They've taken selfies with CEOs using some of the techniques of how to network. And a lot of these people are introverts, and a lot of those people were international students, people coming from other countries. English was not their first language, and they still did this. I taught them how in college and in university on how to do this. Okay, it is a thing, I assure you. Okay, so I'm just surprised because I tend to get a big backlash whenever I talk about it on this channel. But yet, when you put out a poll, what you guys are saying is that the hardest skill to learn is networking. Well, yeah, I can help you with that. It's not any of those things. It's not a con. It's not an illusion. It's not a scam. And it does exist. And it leads to something called the hidden job market, which apparently also is controversial. People don't believe that it exists. It does exist. It's just the name for all the jobs that are not posted. They're filled before they get posted publicly. Because when you announce in your department that, we're looking for an opening for this position, usually either somebody puts themselves forward or they put someone they know forward. They say, hey, I know someone who's interested in that. I have the perfect person. You might want to speak to them. And they go, okay. And then they speak to that person and they say, yeah, hey, you seem perfectly fine. Let's just go with you. Right? And it gets filled. I get arguments about, people who have worked purely in government that say, oh, no, this is not done like that. It's never done like that. Sorry, it is. It's just outside of government, it's done like that. Usually in government, sometimes they have rules for they have to post everything publicly to make it seem like it's fair, right? Even though they then fill the position with an internal candidate, they have to be seen to look at, public candidates that they have no connection with. Right? But I assure you, this is real. Don't take my word for any of this. Go and do your own research. You will see that this is true. The other reason we may get an impression that this is not a thing is because recruiters have a conflict of interest in telling you that the best way to get a job is to not go through a recruiter, right? That's just the reality. But if you want proof of this, go look for yourself. And the other thing is that as people get higher up in the hierarchy, you advance up the org chart, the way that you find those jobs and put yourself forward for them is increasingly by doing this. If you think they hire CEOs by posting the job and saying, we need a CEO, and then having the CEO candidate talk to a recruiter that says, so tell me about yourself, that's not how it's done. Sometimes they post it just for appearances. Sometimes they post it just to be transparent, but very, very rarely do they get an unsolicited candidate that they don't have any connection to that has to talk to a recruiter. Let me put it that way. So I'm surprised at this. I mean, I can help people with networking, but if you're really wanting to learn it properly, once again, it's all in this course. If you want the entire thing from beginning to end, step by step, with templates, if that's really what you're interested in, that's found in this course. The link is in the description of this video, right below, if you're interested in that. Okay, and those are the polls for this last week. So thank you for joining me today. If you are, I see there's a couple of questions here. I'll just briefly look at the questions before we sign off here. Derek says, I enjoy your channel, appreciate the experience sharing. It's helpful in my career. Well, thank you for saying so, Derek, and I'm glad that you're getting something out of this. Dev Sharma says, why should hire you? Yes, the way you say that is, why should I hire you, or why should we hire you? And I have a great video. It's one of the most popular videos on my channel. It's got millions of views. Check it out to get the full meal deal, how you answer it. It's a great question to be asked, and it can really seal the deal in selling yourself as the candidate that they should hire, and certainly passing the interview if you know how to answer this question. Learner, I'm looking for a part-time job and going to see your side hustle series, though my personal interest is in tutoring computer science or competitive exam subjects. It seems like there's a lot of demand for that, Learner. It seems like if you structure your business correctly, and you promote yourself the right way, and you go to the right audience, and you say the things that they're interested in, it seems like you could really make a success of that. You could do tutoring online. You could turn it into a recording of you tutoring online. You could turn that into a course. Whatever you're doing, it seems like you could really, really succeed with that. It might take you a while to learn the intricacies of selling that and building it up, but that's a real growth area, and it's an area that there's currently a lot of demand for. So, I would look into that if that's what you have the interest doing. I fully encourage you to do it. My conditioning from childhood is of a shy introvert guy. Maybe this is the reason I find networking challenging. Yes, but the thing is, I forgot to mention, the other thing that turns people off about networking is they think it's something that it isn't. For example, a lot of introverts just assume that networking is going to some kind of cocktail party and, with a bunch of people you don't know, and just rubbing elbows with these people and striking up a conversation with them and that will somehow lead to great things. Okay, networking technically can be that, but usually it isn't. And certainly if you're an introvert, you probably wouldn't enjoy doing that form of networking. Networking is also doing the thing that I showed everybody earlier, like a few moments ago, with Google Maps, finding out like who I should network with, and then going on LinkedIn, seeing inside those companies, contacting them and saying like, hey, would I be able to get your expert opinion on where your industry is going? Would you be able to spare me 30 minutes? I'd love to listen to your expert opinions, on what you think. Let me know, something like that. And they say, sure, yeah, come on down, let's chat, or they say, or you say like, if you could meet at the local Starbucks or, something like that. Here's 3 possible dates and times. Do any of these work for you? And they say, sure, I can make this one. You say, okay, let's do it. And you go down and you meet somebody, an expert, and you're talking to them and they've invited you in. So it's not like you're forcing yourself on anyone. There's all kinds of ways. That's the way I encourage people to do it. But there's all kinds of ways of doing it. You could do it by phone. You could arrange meetings. You could go to events. Like there's tons of things within this. And you can find a method that works for you. So if you're an introvert, you don't have to do cold calls. You don't have to strike up conversations with people that, it's unsolicited. They don't know who you are and you're sort of forcing yourself upon them. You don't have to do any of that. Okay. That's the beauty of it. Okay. So don't worry. Just because you're an introvert, just because you may be shy, okay, that's not the reason that this can't work for you. And I was talking about social anxiety earlier on in the stream. So, check out that. If that's something you really want to overcome, practice makes perfect. And things like Toastmasters International that I was talking about earlier, they can help. So check those out. It's really worth investing in yourself and tacking on some of these social skills. Because let me tell you, an introvert who's got great technical skills that also, has halfway decent public speaking skills and interpersonal skills, you can really kick ass if you just add those simple little skills on top. You overcome social anxiety. You do a little bit of practice on your own terms. It can lead to great things. Pumpkin Escobar says, I went through 4 levels of interviews, recruiter included, and I was waiting to get to the 5th and final interview. Guess what happened? They decided to drop all candidates and hire a friend of a friend. Yeah, look, it takes all kinds. And this is the problem. This is the nature of, the job search campaign, right? You put yourself out there. It's like sales. It's exactly like sales. You're selling yourself. So be prepared for like some potential customers, like the potential employers, to lead you on, and then it results in nothing. It's just a dead end. You go down that alley, that back alley, and then it ends in a dead end. That does happen, right? But you also get other things that come up. Make sure that you're not just following one method of getting a job in your job search campaign. There are multiple methods of getting a job. Make sure you're doing more than one thing. Don't just, for example, apply for internet job postings. Like respond to internet job postings with an application. Do other things. Do some form of networking. If you don't know what that is, you don't know where to start. Once again, I have a course that covers it. Get hard course. Or you could check out my YouTube channel. I have videos on some of the stuff. I think I have a video from like a couple of years ago about like all the different methods of getting a job, where I cover all of them just sort of in one place. I give you an intro to all of them and what they're generally about, and then you can go from there. And I only got a couple more minutes here, but Cold says, how long should you wait to quit your job or move out of a parent's friend's house after your side hustle succeeds? Maybe 6 months after it succeeds and moving out, or as soon as the money exceeds salary? Well, I can't answer that for you. I mean, if your side hustle has succeeded and you're raking in cash and you're doing well and it's stable, it's your income is not volatile, meaning that you've got like pretty much the same amount of money coming in every month, month after month. It doesn't fluctuate. It doesn't like have wild variations. that suggests you could do it anytime if you wanted. However, if there's no need to immediately move out, the longer you can stay, the better. You don't even need to move out, technically. It's whatever personal preference. This is a personal matter, and it's up to you what you do. Isn't there like a famous case of, I think it was Michael Dell that founded the Dell Computer Company? Are they still around? I haven't heard from them for a long time, but he didn't he like live with his parents for a very long time. He was making tons of money, at his own computer company. It was his full-time thing, but he just lived at home. They couldn't persuade him to get an office. It took a very long time for his employees and stuff to persuade him to get his own, property, business property, like an office or a shop or a plant or, whatever. Because, he was trying to keep his costs down. He was fine where he was. So, the more steady the income, the less the risk. The longer it goes on for, generally, the less the risk. Okay? So beyond that, it's up to you. It also depends on how much money is coming in versus how much is your rent. So that's something you have to answer on your own. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Thank you. There's 22 of you people here. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you got something out of this. I will be back with my regular Q&A, live stream, or I take your questions about anything and everything in about 20 minutes or so. And that'll be my Q&A episode called How to Get Hired for this week. I hope you will join me then. Thanks very much. You guys are awesome. I wish you all the best. Take care.